Hi there, everyone. Dr. Evan Macbeth again here. For those of you who don't know me, I am a ear, nose, and throat surgeon practicing in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm currently making a series of videos to explain how to use Zoom from a provider or a physician's perspective, hoping that you'll be able to reach more patients during the COVID-19 pandemic as well as afterwards. So what I want to talk about today is setting up the waiting room feature in Zoom and exactly how both myself and my care coordinator or my secretary schedule patients for their Zoom appointments with me. So the first thing to look at is when you're making an appointment, let's say, or making a meeting, let's say you want to make a new meeting here. What I'm going to do is, again, schedule meeting. That's fine. We're just going to call this a test meeting. We can make it however long we want it to be. And then if you hit the advanced options here, you want to make sure that you enable waiting room. So you want to check that box right there. And then you can go ahead and schedule like you normally would. Now I'm just going to send this to myself again so that it doesn't go to anybody else right now. So as to not confuse them. And then again, I delete all this information just because I find it kind of not very useful. So I'm going to go ahead and send that. And once I've done that, what the waiting room allows you to do is to essentially, or at least the way I'm using it in my office, is to send out the same link to all patients that you're scheduling. So one of the issues that we're currently running into is that we don't have enough people to be able to schedule appropriately. So what I'm doing is I'm making one recurring meeting, and then I'm sending that same meeting link out to all patients. And then when those patients join into a Zoom meeting, I can choose to admit them or not. And so let's just do that real quick. To make a recurring meeting, you can take any new scheduled meeting or a meeting that you've already scheduled. I'll use the test here as an example, and we're going to edit that. But again, you can do this as a new meeting, and you're going to click this box right here as a recurring meeting. You'll get a dialog box there that says make sure you remember to check that in Outlook as well, or whatever calendar invite system you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. It's going to bring up Outlook again here, as you see. And what I want to do is make this a recurring meeting. So if you're going to do it like I'm doing it, where you send out the same invite for all patients, what I do is I make that to go from 7 a.m. every day. I'm not going to be seeing patients earlier than that, to 7 p.m. every day. I'm not going to be seeing patients later than that. You want to make this daily, and you want to also make it every weekday unless we're planning to have telemedicine appointments with patients on the weekend. And I'm going to have it start today, and I'm going to say no end date. So we're just going to have this go on indefinitely until I decide to make a new link or to delete this appointment type. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK there. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just a little bit of my OCD coming out. And we're going to get rid of that information here. There we go. And again, I like to click or hit return after the HTML link to make sure it's a hyperlink that's easy to click on. So that's how you make a recurring meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and update that, and you'll see what happens in Zoom. So now it's moved from a meeting from today, and now it's an actual recurring meeting. And so what you can do then is make sure you're highlighted on that recurring meeting, and then you can go ahead and hit copy invitation. That's going to copy that invitation. And now what I like to do is go into Outlook. I have multiple screens set up, so I'm just going to pull this over on that screen. And let's say I wanted to send this to a patient here, okay? What I'm going to do here, I'm going to obviously just send it to myself. And then I'm going to say something like your upcoming meeting, or we'll say telemedicine meeting with Dr. Macbeth. And then I'm just going to paste that meeting information there. Again, I like to get rid of the extraneous things here. I'm going to get rid of the time so they can't see that it's a recurring meeting. Then I'll get rid of that as well. Again, make it a hyperlink by doing that. And then the other thing that I'm having my secretary do, we have a form letter that we just have saved in a Word document. I'll show that to you here, and you can obviously use something like this if you like, or you can make your own. And all she's doing is she's copying this. So I'm going to hit copy here, and then she's just pasting this into the email that she's sending to the patient, and then in this case it's me. And then the same thing, I'm going to actually cut this so that I remove it there, and then we're going to paste that as well. So now there's that Zoom meeting. The only thing that she then has to do is go in and change the date and time. So let's say I'm meeting this patient at today at let's say 2 p.m. Okay, so she's made that. Now. Because this would actually be going to the patient, I've also asked her, at least for now, to blind carbon copy me on the email as well, and that just lets me know about all my patients' appointments coming up. Now, ultimately, once we become a little more facile with this, we shouldn't need to do that. But so then this gets sent to the patient here. And it gives them instructions on how to download the Zoom application, whether they're on a desktop or laptop, or whether they're on an Apple or Android device. And it tells them how to join with a certain audio settings so that I can hear them. So they read through this, they have the Zoom meeting to click on, and then I also ask them to please hit reply, just so that we can confirm that they got the email. So I'm going to go ahead and send that off. I'll actually open up my inbox again. Oh, sorry. We'll go ahead and click this over here. And you can see there's the email that I just sent to myself. And if I click on this link here, it's going to take me to a Zoom website. Now I'm running Zoom here, so it's going to take me directly into my Zoom there. And then I can unmute myself if I wanted to. I can also manage my participants. And this is where you're going to have patients that come in, and it'll say waiting room right here, and you'll see the patient join you, and you can hit admit or just to keep them in the waiting room. I'm going to try to get some video of someone joining me to put into this. So I'll try to go ahead and insert that. Okay, so I have someone who can help me show you this functionality in terms of the patient joining in the waiting room and allowing me to admit them. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and copy this invitation. I'm going to, again, bring up an email to be able to, sorry, here, I'm looking for my emails here. Bring up an email here. Discard. There we go. And I'm going to send this to one of our office managers. And again, I like to blind carbon copy myself, at least for now. I'm going to say telemedicine appointment, just for the sake of brevity here. And then again, just to go through this again, we're going to copy this. Oh, make sure we get that down there. I'm going to copy this just like that, and then we're going to paste it there. I'm just deleting my own signature there for now, and then my appointment details, again, you can go back here, copy that invitation again, and then we're going to go ahead and paste that invitation there. And then I like to go ahead, as you know, by this point, to go ahead and get rid of that. Oh, sorry about that. I did the wrong one here. So I need to be on the test one there. We're going to copy that there. And we're going to go like that. There we go. That's better. I had copied my own personal meeting room ID by accident. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. Again, you don't have to do this, just how I like things to look. And then again, I like to make it a hyperlink. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to Nick here. as well as myself. And you'll see that pop up here in just a minute. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and start that meeting, I could just by hitting start, or I could click on the email that I just sent myself. I'm going to go ahead and tell him on Skype to go ahead and join. Just sent an email here. So we're going to say that. And I'm going to wait for him to get loaded up and join here. I like to have my participants open so I can see who is joining me. And there you go. So there's Nick. So you see I have option to either admit him or to remove him from the Zoom meeting. And so any patients coming in, you'll be able to see them coming in, see who they are, and get done with the previous patient, get them discharged before you admit the next patient. So we're going to go ahead and admit Nick. And there's Nick. Hi, Nick. How you doing? Hi there. How you doing? Sorry, I'm on mute because I'm recording that video. How you doing?
Good, how about you?
Good, doing well. Wave, say hi. I'm on YouTube.
Hello, I'm on.
Okay. All right. I'll catch you later. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
And it's really as easy as that. It's really as easy as just sending out that same recurring invite link and then having patients join up and admitting them to your waiting room appointment. So that's a really easy way. It helps to cut down on having to make multiple appointment invites and multiple appointment types, whether you're doing it or you have your secretary or care coordinator or nurse or someone doing it for you. That's really helpful to just make the same recurring meeting link, copy that, put that into the same form email that you're sending out and just emailing that out to patients. If you're doing it that way, you don't even really need to make any Outlook invites. You can literally just send patients and the practicing provider or physician an invite. Now, if you do want it to show up in Zoom, you do need to make the Outlook invite for the provider or the physician to see that. But it all just kind of depends on your preference. The last thing that I want to talk about is making sure that you have the appropriate settings set up in your Zoom account online as well. So I'm going to go into my account here, and you want to go again down to settings. If you watched my previous meeting, excuse me, my previous video, I went through this before. You can click on Advanced in Meeting, and you're going to go down here to Waiting Room. And again, you want to make sure that this toggle box is on, and you also want all participants to be placed in the waiting room. I've tried it as guest participants. It didn't work quite as I wanted to, so just do it as all participants. You can also go in and customize what your patients will see when they're waiting in your waiting room. So this is what mine looks like. It says Dr. Macbeth will let you in for your appointment soon, and it tells them that they're in the appropriate place in your virtual waiting room. You can even add your own file here in terms of a picture file to be able to show them that they're in the correct spot. So that's how you do that, and that's pretty much it in terms of scheduling virtual meetings. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, I'll be checking the comments on these videos to see if there's anything that I can reply to, or I'm certainly happy to email any replies as well. Again, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you like this content and would like to see more of it. I hope you guys stay well. Bye-bye.